Voila! The new and improved Kira's Corner. Isn't this so much better than staring at a purple wall? Yeah, I think so. So the other day someone asked me, hey, how come you don't make Truth or Dare videos anymore? And I was like, oh yeah, it has been quite a while, so let's get back on that. So this truth is coming from Unique Toronto Tours, who asks, when was the hardest that you have ever cried? Well, thinking about it, I think the most I've ever cried is when my ice cream fell on the floor and I didn't have money to buy another one, so I sat there and cried for like half an hour straight. Yeah, no, I'm just joking. That didn't happen. But it's very likely to happen. I would probably sit there and cry about that. But no, jokes apart, the most I've ever cried is, this was back in high school. So I was pretty young, pretty stupid, right? And a lot of you may or may not know that my parents are extremely strict, like so strict. So when I say strict, you probably don't understand. Let me explain. Strict is that I can't sit on my porch, the porch of my house, which is attached to my house. I can't sit there without answering a bajillion questions why I'm even close to the door. And hold on, let me just clarify that strictness of me not sitting at the porch without answering a bajillion questions is right now. And right now, I'm 25. So can you just imagine how strict they were when I was in high school? Yeah, I had it pretty tough. And what? Are you guys surprised? I mean, if they were not strict, I would be out there partying, not standing in the corner of my room talking to a camera. Right? Okay, so now that you have a little bit of an idea of how strict my parents are, let me get to the story. So this was around high school time, I don't know, grade 9 or 10 or something, right? And everyone was going to this event. So pretty much all of my friends and pretty much everyone that I knew was going to this New Year's event. And everyone's like, you know, hyping it up so much on MSN. Oh, pause. I guess a lot of you don't know what MSN is. It's an instant messaging system that we used back in our days. Wow, I feel so freaking old right now. So what it was basically like Facebook chat, right? A lot of you would know what Facebook chat is, but it was much cooler. I think so. Anyways, and I asked my parents and they're like, okay. So I guess they didn't really realize what they were saying, or they were just like kind of wanted me to get off of their back. So they're like, yeah, you can go, whatever. I'm all dressed up and I'm excited to go to this event, and what happens? They're like, no. When did we say you can go? We never gave you permission. And I'm like, what? And I was so frustrated. And I was screaming and crying for hours. When I'm saying hours, I'm not even exaggerating. Like hours I was crying. And they came, they were watching TV, they went and ate, they just went about their day like nothing was happening. And they didn't even give a shit that I'm sitting there and just like bawling my eyes out. But no, unfortunately, I learned that day that crying, screaming does not work with my parents. I think this is where a lot of parents fail. As soon as a child cries, they think, oh, we have to give them everything they want because I can't stand them crying. Which is wrong. Absolutely wrong, because that child will never learn, right? But what my parents fail to understand is that when I was crying, in my head, it's the feelings that are going through, the thought process in my head was that, oh, they don't care about me, they don't love me, my happiness means nothing to them. But what's happening in their head is that, oh, I have to protect my daughter, I can't let her go to these things, and we can't give into her tantrum no matter how much she cries, we just need to protect her because that's my duty as a parent. See, the two different mentalities, the two different thought process, and this is where we lose that bond. And of course, as a child, we don't understand those things. We're not equipped to think like that, right? We're not mature enough. But as a parent, you've been there, done that. You should be able to know what your child is going through and try to solve that issue in a better way instead of letting the child cry. And what a parent does not understand is that by sending the kid to the room, by hitting them, by yelling at them, or whatever way you guys are punishing your children, it affects the child so much, and you don't understand that. It carries on. As they get older, it goes on with them. They don't just leave it in their childhood, they don't forget about it. These are things that are really affect a child deep down, that it grows with them. And these are the things that grow out into being insecurities or attachment issues, and even as bad as depression. The one thing that we all fail to realize, I think it is that no matter how old this child is, we have to remember that they have feelings as well. And just because we're older and we have the control over them does not mean that we can't respect this child's feelings. The one thing that lacks within a lot of us is that we don't communicate properly, especially with the younger generation. We just say, do what I say because I'm older and I know better. That's not the right attitude to have. Recently, one of my friend's sister passed away in depression, and I'm dedicating this video to her. Let her death be a lesson to all of us. When we see our child distressed, don't just let it go. Don't ignore it. please, please, please take a minute to communicate with your child. It's very, very important. If you want to build a friendship with your child, it has to start at a very young age. They have to be able to trust you and someone that they want to come to you, not someone that they want to run away from. So if you don't respect your child's feelings, then they're not going to respect yours. And that's it. That's all I have to say. I'll see you guys next week.